Have you been working on your brand strategy, writing your mission, uncovering your ideal audience, visualizing your visual direction? It is powerful stuff that can truly transform your business and your life. But while you can get a lot out of the brand strategy process itself, the long-lasting impact that will help you build a brand that takes you to the next level is actually using that strategy. So when your brand strategy is ready, then what? Let's talk about how to put your strategy into action from day one so that you can intentionally and effectively build your brand.
Hello and welcome to Brand Your Passion, the show that helps you turn the thing you love the most into something that people know and love you for. I'm your host, Holly Arnett, the brand coach for creatives, and I'm on a mission to make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. If you're ready to get more eyes on your work, more dollars in your pocket, and more creativity in your life, you're in the right place. Welcome. Let's brand your passion.
Speaking of brand strategy, do you have one for your creative business? If not, then you need to check out the Brand Strategy Kit for Creators. It is an easy to use, plug and play brand strategy template designed just for creatives, and it's the perfect place to start when it comes to creating your brand strategy. Imagine being clear and confident AF in what you do, why it's so amazing, and how to share it with the world, knowing exactly what decisions to make and steps to take to achieve your wildest creative dreams, and having it all in a go-to guide that you can easily access anywhere, anytime. That is where the Brand Strategy Kit for Creators comes in. It's a brand strategy template designed for creators to store their biggest dreams, greatest differentiators, and best strategies, plus so much more. You'll get a 50-page Canva template, example brand strategy, 5-minute Canva tutorial, and bonus 1-page strategy so that you can clarify your brand, craft a plan, and kick some ass. So if that sounds good to you and you're ready to craft a brand strategy for your creative business with this customizable, cross-platform, collaborative template, then head to the link in the show notes to get yours today. Now let's get back to the episode and talk about how to put your brand strategy into action from day one. Let's get down to business and talk about these tips. When you have your brand strategy, what do you do with it? So first thing that I would do is put a bookmark to your strategy on your phone and your computer / any other device you have. Create it as a little icon on your homepage that takes you directly to your brand strategy. That way you can immediately access it anywhere that you need to. Whenever you need to, it's easily accessible. I would do the same on like your desktop on your computer. I would just have it on your desktop so you can click it and it's there wherever you need it. You could also put it in like the Finder on your computer on the like left-hand column. You could just add a shortcut there so you can just click to your brand strategy. Ta-da! There it is. That would be really, really helpful. So I would put a bookmark to your strategy in all of the places that are really useful, like on your phone and your computer, to make it really easily accessible. That means the lower the barrier to accessing your brand strategy, the easier it is to get to it, the more you're going to use it. That's the best thing for you. Step number 2 is I would put your vision, mission, and values at least in places that you always see them. So your vision as your phone background, you could have your mission on your desktop, you could have your values on your iPad. You can put them on whatever backgrounds you want, but you know, make something cute in Canva or in Figma or whatever cool design software you're using, and make something cute that you like and set it as your background is a great method to make sure you're reminding yourself of your vision, mission, and values as often as possible. You can also put them in places like your Notion dashboard or whatever like other productivity tools that you're using. I have mine in my Notion dashboard and I love that because I see them all the time and it reminds me of them all the time. It means I check in with them all the time and it's just a really good reminder. You could also stick them to your wall. You could have them made into prints. You could just write them out on little note cards or post-it notes, or print it out from your brand strategy itself and just have it stuck to your wall, your corkboard, or whatever you have on your wall, and just have it printed out behind your computer or around you in your office or wherever you hang out, so that you see them all the time on the regular. Whatever works for you, whatever tools you have around you, whatever productivity tools, online, in your real life, like in the physical realm, use whatever you have available to you to surround yourself with your vision, your mission, and your values as much as possible. I would also obviously share your brand strategy with your team or collaborators if you have them. So if you have a virtual assistant, or you work with a social media manager, or someone who does your ads, or a graphic designer, or anybody like that, make sure you are sending them this strategy that you've created, or any of this information that you've come up with as part of your strategy. Make sure that you share that with anybody you are collaborating with. It's important that anybody who's working on your brand has this information, so that everything is cohesive, everything is up to date, everything is coming with one brand voice, one goal, one message, one perspective. So make sure that you share your strategy with anybody involved, and you can do that from day one, from day dot. When you have done your strategy, or when you start working on your strategy, you can also involve other people if that's useful to you. So share your strategy with your team or collaborators. I could also and would also recommend printing out your brand strategy if you're somebody who likes having things printed out. It is also something I recommend to people if you are like new to having a brand strategy, if you've never had one before, or you've never done it in this kind of formal way before. It's something that's really useful to kind of get you in the habit of using it and looking at it, because when it's kind of hidden away as a file on your computer, it's something that's really easy to forget about. But if you print it out, even just on your home printer, or you could get it printed and just have it on your desk, will be a really helpful reminder that it's there and that it's a tool for you to use. And if you have it in front of you, you can flip through it, you can have it there, you can use it, you can look at it more often. It's really helpful way to get into the habit of looking at and using your strategy from day one, and to remind yourself that it's there rather than having it hidden away on your computer. So if you're new to having a brand strategy and you haven't had one before, and this is, your first time having one, then I would recommend printing out your brand strategy and having it there on your desk, physically in front of you. Don't move it. Have it there, leave it there, use it. The next thing you can do is, if we dive into the brand strategy a little bit, is you can link or add your brand voice guidelines to wherever it is that you write content. I would make sure that you link or add all of your brand voice guidelines into that program, so that you or whoever is writing content, whenever you go to write content, you see that brand voice guidelines, or at least a link to those guidelines, so that it's a reminder to check in, make sure you are adhering to those guidelines, and that you're always writing in your brand voice. I would then also link or add your audience information wherever you plan content or create offers, or kind of are making anything new for your business. So again, that could be like any of your productivity tools or task management software or anything like that. This again is just a reminder to be checking in, making sure that your audience are top of mind whenever you're making something, crafting something from scratch. You want to make sure that you're doing that with your audience in mind. So have a link to all of the information that you've gathered and created, and the strategy you've created for reaching your audience, speaking to them, making sure that you are creating things for them whenever you're making something new. So make sure you're linking or adding the information and strategy you have for your audience wherever you plan and create new things for your business. Then link or add your content strategy wherever you plan and create content, again in your project or productivity or task management tool. Within your brand strategy, you might have created a sort of content plan about where you're going to be posting, what content pillars you're going to be creating, like where you're going to reach your audience, what kind of content they like, what other people they follow, like all of that sort of stuff. So link or add those parts of your brand strategy that relate to your content strategy wherever you are planning and creating content. And then link or add your visual direction wherever you design for your business, or share it with whoever will be helping you to do that. So if you are designing yourself, then make sure you link to the work that you did for your visual direction within your brand strategy in the place that you do your design. Or if you're hiring a graphic designer, then you can share this information with them to make sure that everything you are designing is aligned with your brand strategy and aligned with the visual direction and the brand personality you want to reflect in your design, and the audience that you want to reach and what they like and what they're attracted to and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you link and add your visual direction stuff, or share it with whoever is going to help you do that. Next up, you can update your social media profiles. So maybe within your strategy, wrote some taglines. You obviously have your mission and your vision and your values and all of that sort of stuff. You might have, updated your visual direction, things like that. So you can update your social media profiles. You can also update your website about page. So your website about page is the perfect place to use things like your vision, your mission, your values, your story, your taglines, your unique selling proposition. All of those sorts of things are perfect for your website about page. So you can use that from day one, easily updated on your website about page. And then the last thing that I recommend doing to put your strategy into action from day one is to do everything for the next week at least with your brand strategy open by your side. So if you are planning content, look at the content pillars and information about your audience within your brand strategy. If you are making a decision, use your brand strategy to check in with your vision and your goals and your values. If you are setting up a freebie and a funnel connected to that freebie, then refer to your customer journey and the brand voice guidelines and the positioning within that strategy. If you are starting to put your brand identity together, then use your personality, your audience, and the visual direction. You can use your brand strategy to do so many things if you get in the habit of using it. And that's the thing about brand strategy, is that it is a useful document and it should be used, and it's there to be used. It is there to be your guide. It's there to influence and impact everything you do in your business, and it should be a strategy for everything you do in your business. So you just need to get in the habit of using it. That starts with using it. So I would recommend doing everything you can for at least the next week with that brand strategy open, and that's why I recommend printing it out so you have it there physically in front of you. So as you're going about your day over the next week or so, you can just have it open and say like, okay, next thing on my to-do list is to create content for this week. So okay, while I'm doing that, let me flip open to the page about my audience and make sure that I'm thinking about them, and I can look at what I wrote about what they're into and where I can reach them, and I can think about the other people that they follow. Maybe I could reach out to this person and do a collaboration with them, and I can create content about this topic that I know my audience likes, and these are the pillars that I created in my strategy. And you just use your strategy for everything that you do. So those are the tips and tricks that I have for you for putting your strategy into action from day one. Like I said, this is where the magic happens. Obviously, you get a lot out of the brand strategy process itself. You will learn so much about yourself. You will get so much clarity from actually creating your brand strategy and uncovering who you are and what matters to you and what you want out of your business and where you're going and who your audience are and all of that stuff. But if you want to take your creative business to the next level, you need to actually use that strategy and be really intentional with using it to create a consistent message that's used over and over and over again for the same audience, really strategically. And that's what will really propel you to the next level. So hope that this was helpful. As always, cannot wait to hear how you start putting your strategy into action. Let me know on Instagram. You can DM me or comment on my posts or chat to me on Threads at Maker and Moxie. Let me know which one of these you will be using first, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Brand Your Passion and choosing to spend time with me learning all about branding, business, and all things creativity. You can find more episodes just like this one at makerandmoxie.com/podcast. If you like this one, you can tap that subscribe or follow button so that you're notified about each and every new episode. And if you've got a spare second, please leave a review on iTunes or wherever it is that you're listening to this podcast, because I would absolutely 100% love to hear from you. If there were some helpful goodies in this episode for you, it would mean the world to me as well if you could screenshot that podcast player right now, hop on over to Instagram or Twitter and tag us at Maker and Moxie. By subscribing, reviewing, and sharing, you're helping reach more creators just like you, so that together we can make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. We can't achieve this mission without you, so your support means the absolute world. I will talk to you in the next episode, but until then, keep creating.